Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Yevamot, page 60, which teaches us that in the times of the temple, questions were able to be answered by going to the high priest and going to among his 8 garments, 4 of them which were bigdei zahab, made of gold. One of them was called a tzitz, which was a golden head plate, which had the words holy to God, Kodesh Lashem, on it. On this, the Talmud here tells us that they would be able to ask questions literally to the tzitz or possibly to the breastplate, and they would be able to get answers to their questions. And when it came to the time of the punishment that was going to befall the people of Yabesh Gilad, these were individuals that were supposed to be engaged in a battle against the tribe of Benjamin in the time of the Pilegesh Begibah, the concubine of Gibeah. And because of that, they decided not to fight against them. So they were going to punish those individuals. But they had to be able to determine which people they were able to punish and who should not be able to be punished because of their innocence. And they did in a very unusual way. They took barrels of wine and they put these people on top of the barrels of wine, and based on certain aromas, they were able to make this determination. But it's interesting that they did not use the golden headband. They did not use this methodology of being able to find things out from the high priest. And the question is, why not? Because we've seen in other places that, in fact, this is a much seemingly easier way of doing it, and especially that it's very clear that this is a message directly from God, exactly how to proceed. And on this, the Talmud tells us something very interesting. The only time they were able to use this methodology of going and consulting the high priest and his various garments is only when it comes to something which is l'ratzon, which is something which is positive, something which is good. However, when it comes to something which would lead to a punishment for people, then they are not involved. We find when it comes to the temple, the Beit HaMikdash, it represents peace. It is totally against war. In fact, in the construction, one is not allowed to even use swords and knives to be able to carve the various items, because we don't want anything which represents violence or war or tragedy in something which is God's home. And because of that, this methodology, again, was not used. Instead, they had to come up with this other innovative methodology to be able to find out when it comes to punishments.